أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صل على محمد. I want to mention a little bit about what we need to do. Our job here isn't only to revere or to praise. We have a job. What can we do in this war between haqq and batil, truth and falsehood, where we stand for the truth? What can we do? Brothers and sisters, I want to mention a verse of Quran, because you've heard me mention this before. You've heard me say that we human beings are the best of Allah's creation. We are so special to God. I'm trying to go somewhere with this, but now I'd like it if brothers and sisters could turn with me to a verse of the Quran. Can you turn with me, brothers and sisters? See if I'm quoting this verse of the Quran correctly. Remember, first of all, how valuable are we to God? After that, what's the point? Meaning, what are we supposed to do? So, if anybody can turn to Surah number 5 and verse number 32. Do you guys see this? Min ajli dhalika. Okay, so let's read this verse together. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Min ajli dhalika. For this reason, katabna ala bani Israel. We prescribed, we wrote for the children of Israel. Annahu man qatala nafsan bighayri nafs. Whoever is to slaughter someone, to kill someone, but it not be because somebody else murdered somebody, to slaughter one of the innocents. قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض, or that the person did such corruption in the land that the punishment was that they also be killed. This person كأنما قتل الناس جميعا. If you kill one innocent person, each person is so special to God. If you kill one person, it is as if you slaughtered all of humanity. You think about that when you see that little Palestinian girl who says, "Don't even cry over me. Take my clothes and use them for the needy." When you slaughter one person, it's as if you've slaughtered all of mankind. What about if you do the opposite? If you help someone live? وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا. What about someone who rescues a person, who saves a person, who steps in? فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسِ جَمِيعًا. It's as if this person saved all of mankind, revived all of mankind. Fudayl, one of the companions, says this. He says, I was asking the Imam about this verse. What does this verse mean? So the Imam responded to me in this way. He says, whoever saves a person, min haraqin aw gharaqin. The fire is happening. You rush in to save a person so they don't get burned. Or someone's drowning. You go in and you do that. Fudayl then asked Imam Baqir, we're getting to something. How important is the clarification jihad? He says, Fudayl says, Qultu, I said, فَمَنْ أَخْرَجَهَا مِنْ ضَلَالٍ إِلَى هُدَى. What about a person who sees someone who's misguided, who's uninformed, and this person takes the hand of that person, says a word of truth, has a conversation, and takes the person from misguidance and brings them to guidance? The Imam said, قال ذاك تعويلها الأعظم. There is no comparison between providing guidance, clarity, and saving a physical life. The ta'wil al-a'zam. So, Our job, brothers and sisters, when the leader talks about the clarification jihad, you and I, sometimes maybe we imagine this is too hard, we can't do this, we're not capable. This is actually much easier than we might imagine. There are situations, circumstances, a circle of friends, even some at the gym, your customers, those you're interacting with. Instead of you leaving that person in misguidance, you can have a conversation. There is all-out war right now for the hearts and minds of the masses. And people are making mistakes. Good people are confused. You see, when a false belief takes root in a person, fixing that false belief takes so much time. They have a saying in Farsi. They say that if one person who is divaneh, one person who's majnoon, one person who's insane, drops a rock in a well, it takes 10 rational people, 10 sane people to take the rock back out. Right now, there are many good people who simply don't know what the truth is. They're confused. You listen to their stances. They want to fight for the truth. One of the things we find in the ayat of the Quran that is talked about as the greatest dhulm is to fabricate a lie to Allah. False belief. You and I, we want our very best. We don't introduce any of our own ideas, God forbid, any Western ideas that are still in our minds. We've accepted those as truth, right? What does Islam say? Defend Islam. Explain what Islam is. Push back socially, politically, and don't shy away from Islam. Tell people what the truth is. Talk about it. So, now, brothers and sisters, we have a minute now, and so it doesn't even make sense to really go into the verse. I'm just going to mention a few of the things, at least we'll start to think about some of these things, inshallah. What kind of, so keep this in mind. You and I, when we talk about kufr, right? You and I have also seen the students who stood up. The students who were getting hit over the head with clubs, right? For the Palestinians, neighbors, co-workers, people that we know. When the verses of the Quran talk about kufr and that these people will be in hell forever, what is Allah referring to? What kind of kufr is Allah referring to that you and I will say to ourselves, that person, remember the Urfa have told us this, when you teach your children about Yawm al-Qiyamah and about hell, they need to understand, well, those people who went to hell really, truly deserved it. So what kind of kufr are we talking about? What about those, and there's so many in the world who are uninformed. There's so many people uninformed. Next one, if we're saying that many of those people will make it to paradise, then does that mean, well, why even bother to ignorance is bliss then? We need to find out these things and also get the proper understanding of that verse, but inshallah, we'll talk about that at another time. We end with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.